Hello guys, it's taken me a while to make this video. I just wasn't sure what I was going to talk about or how I was going to make it. David Lynch passed away this year, 2025, on January 16th. It was a very tragic moment. I'll try to make it brief because again, it's David Lynch. There's so much to talk about. But just really briefly, I found out about David Lynch the very first time through this movie. And this is my favorite movie of all time. It's called Lost Highway. And this movie is very dark, sexy, erotic, creepy, just very eerie. And this movie probably has one of the eeriest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. And that's just how David Lynch does his. David Lynch has this thing about him. Like, he really knows how to make the simplest thing eerie. He makes the simplest thing look weird. I can't describe it, but he has this touch about him. So anyway, not only is this my favorite movie of all time, but this movie has the best soundtrack, in my opinion, ever made. This is probably one of my most favorite soundtracks ever. Through this soundtrack, I discovered the band Rammstein. It's a German band, and I also discovered another band called This Mortal Coil. I feel like David Lynch and his art has molded my thoughts and my view of things in general that make me happy. With his movies, I feel like he brought my fantasies to life. So I'll never see a diner the same way again. I feel like when I go to a diner, it really evokes a feeling. So he really has shaped my world, the way I see things. I know it probably sounds weird or maybe a little too much, but he really did made an impact on my life. And I'm really happy to say that I feel fortunate that I am alive during this time that he's been alive, and that I've been fortunate enough to experience his art, his music, his vision, and his eeriness, which is what really draws me to his stuff. He has this eeriness thing about him. But anybody that would see his movies would probably think that he's this very eccentric person, this really offbeat person, but he really is just a normal person. He even says it in his book, David Lynch. He even says it in this book that he's just a person from Missoula, Montana, doing his thing, walking down the same road as everybody else. So that's very humbling for him to say, because he's an extraordinary person. And not only is he like a regular person, well, I wouldn't say he's regular, but he makes it seem to be like that. But I know he's very quirky. He's just an amazing person. Anyway, right after Lost Highway, he went on to make this other movie. This movie actually got him nominated for Best Director. More mainstream media found out about him. And this is another excellent film, another film with twists. And this movie actually has also one of the most eeriest scenes in a movie that I've ever seen. And it has probably one of the most beautiful scores that I've ever heard as well, which was composed by Angelo Badalamenti, which is one of the musicians that collaborates a lot with David Lynch. And then after this movie, I went on to find out more about David Lynch. So I went on to discover, well, yeah, so I went on to discover more about him, and I found this one. This movie is called Blue Velvet. This is supposed to be one of his most popular films as well. A lot of people talk about this one. And then I went on to discover this one, which is Twin Peaks. And this is actually a movie. It's a prequel movie to the actual series Twin Peaks, which he remade. Not well, maybe like around almost 10 years ago or something. He remade Twin Peaks, and so this is a really good one too. And then afterwards, he came out with his final film, which is called Inland Empire. And a lot of people don't like this movie. I've even made fun of because I like this movie. I remember I invited some friends over. They were just poking fun of me because they were just saying that this is garbage, it's gibberish, it means nothing. But no, it's not. He made this movie for a reason, and the thing I like about David Lynch is that he does not break down his movie to you. He does not tell you what it means or what it's supposed to mean. He likes the fact that there could be a lot of interpretations of his movies, and he leaves it up to the beholder to interpret it the way they want. And it's funny that that happens because there's even a scene in one of the movies, I believe it's Lost Highway, where the main character says that he likes to remember things not the way they happen, but he likes to remember them the way he wants to remember them, or something like that. Okay, so I did meet David Lynch. I was kind of stalking him at one point. I wasn't going to his house or anything, but I found out one time that he came. There was a store called Amoeba in Hollywood. They used to sell music, records, CDs, movies, etc. It was a really cool store. In fact, I got a glimpse of him, but I didn't get my ticket to go inside to meet him. So actually, the first video that I ever made on YouTube was of David Lynch. Believe it or not, that was the first video I've ever made. It was me looking from the outside into the Amoeba music store of him signing autographs and stuff. So I was like really devastated that I couldn't see him. But I finally got my chance to meet him. I shook his hands because he came out again to promote his coffee, which I still have. I never opened this bag of coffee. He even signed it for me. So this is such a nice little memorabilia that I have. I shook his hand. And he also came out with his own music. So even though I had downloaded this album already from Amazon.com, but I ended up buying this vinyl just to have it signed. And this is actually the only vinyl that I own. This is the only vinyl that I own, and I really cherish it. And it's one of the most beautiful things that I own, and really cool. He signed it. So this is his second album. He did come out with another album previous to this. So, and I forgot to mention that this book was given to me by a friend that came into my life one day, and we drifted apart. I mean, nothing happened, but we just simply drifted apart. But it was really nice of her because she knew how big of a David Lynch fan I was that I am. So she thought of me, and she said that she had this book that somebody had given it to her. I forget what exactly the story was, but she said that she wanted to give it to me and that it would be better that I had it. So she gave it to me. That was a really nice little gesture there, I think. I Every now and then artists go away, unfortunately, and people do get sad about them, and sometimes we don't understand as outsiders. And this one, I really felt it, but that's just part of life, you know. People come and go, and I'm just happy that I can appreciate his work, his art. So I've checked out like a lot of his movies already. My plan is to like buy all the DVDs or Blu-rays of all his work. I have yet to see uh, the Elephant Man, Dune. What else? The 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 Twin Peaks series, both the old and the new. I've never seen any of them. From the old one, believe it or not, I used to have the DVD collection, but I only got a chance to see like two episodes or something. And I honestly, I don't know what happened to that set of DVDs. So I plan to watch those, and then I plan to watch the whole new what do you call it, the new Twin Peaks that he came out with, that he remade. So going back to this Inland Empire movie, so through this movie, the soundtrack is really good as well. David Lynch has some of his own music on there, or there's a song sung by an artist by the name of Krista Bell, and the name of that movie, or the name of that song is Polish Poem. So when I heard that song in this movie, it really captivated me, and I'm all like, wow, what a haunting music voice. So, and that's how I discovered Krista Bell through this movie, and she went on to make two albums with David Lynch. No, actually one album, because she made other albums, but they weren't produced by David Lynch. So he produced her first album, and I got to see her live as well. So she is one of David Lynch's muses, and of course I like anything David Lynch, and she and David Lynch really are kind of like a match made in heaven, like through music. And I shouldn't feel down, I shouldn't feel sad, because he's in a better place. And unfortunately, his last days, he was really struggling with emphysema. I believe it was emphysema, because I think he had been smoking all his life. But you know what? Smoking brought him pleasure. It made him happy, and I think even though it was hurting him, it was damaging him. He enjoyed his life, but I'm just happy that I can still enjoy his art while he is enjoying his next life, and may he rest in peace, and may his legacy go on. And I forgot, and I have to mention this, I think for me, one of the closest directors that can come sort of close, or at least be a little, maybe he was influenced a little by David Lynch, is Darren Aronofsky. I mean, I don't even think he'll ever watch this video, but I mean, Darren Aronofsky is his own director. In fact, I think Darren Aronofsky is my second most favorite director, right after David Lynch. And for me, and to me, the way I see things, when I watched Darren Aronofsky's movies, I see a little bit of David Lynch in his movies. And so I think that's why, and I think that's how I found out about Darren Aronofsky. And if you haven't seen and if you have never seen a Darren Aronofsky movie, you need to check it out. He's best known for Black Swan. Well, I don't want to derail from the main topic, but one of my favorite movies from Darren Aronofsky is called The Fountain. So that's that. I just had to mention that. But anyway, we miss David Lynch, and he will never be forgotten. His legacy shall go on. That's it.